Welcome! And today we'll dive into the stories and reactions to the post from Shut Up 565 titled, How My Dad Destroyed a Karen and Her Brat Son at the Grocery Store. Hi, this is Derek. I just put the Drama Llama, Fred, back in his pen so that I can do this quick video for you with some of the stuff that Fred found on Reddit earlier today. Oh boy, let's get ready for some stories about entitled parents. How My Dad Destroyed a Karen and Her Brat Son at the Grocery Store. Posting on mobile, sorry for any grammatical errors. Hey there everyone, I don't know if this is where this goes, but hey, figured it was a good story to share. So this story takes place about 6 years ago while I was working at a grocery store in my small town. At this grocery store we have a side exit/entrance, and a restricted back area only meant for employees. We are meant to call police for trespassing if we see someone back there, but I never did, cause I thought it was wrong to screw up someone's day for no reason. Right by the back exit was the road to my house, and my dad had driven my mom to work that day and was on his way back home with my mother in the passenger seat. Now my dad isn't a big guy, but he is a scary guy. He may be only 5 feet 10 inches, but he's built like a cage fighter and works out daily. Gun to my head, the only reason why I could think of for my father to want to stay in shape is because he works in construction. I really don't know why he works out so hard. But anyways, while my father was driving down the road, he saw this 12-year-old round little turd of a boy proceeded to slap a little 10-year-old girl across the face at the back of the store. So my dad slams on the brakes and immediately gets out of the car and yells at this kid how it's not right to put your hands on a woman and that the kid should leave now. Should be the end of the story, right? Lesson learned, everything's set right in a way. We all know it isn't over, come on. This kid clearly wasn't used to getting yelled at or told he wasn't allowed to do something, because this part I was there for and heard. Me and my boss were outside taking care of trash and whatnot when we hear a blubbering prepubescent screech of F you. Stay the F away from me, bitch. I effing hate you. So my boss comes over to the screeching and sees the brat marching through the side exit. So my boss approached him and said, hey, you can't be screaming here, that isn't allowed. As the fat sack of crap marched past us and pointed back, screeching again, it's cause he's an effing a-hole. That's when we see a man walking down the alley and my boss leans over to me asking, isn't that your dad? All I could muster in response was, God, I hope not. Which followed seconds after with my dad calling out, hey buddy, to me. So my dad brought us up to speed and we all figured that was the end. Nope. Me and my boss go back into the store and we hear what sounds like whale mating sounds. We see at the service center, laying down on his back on the floor and throwing a temper tantrum, the brat. My boss immediately brings people up to speed on what happened and all sympathy dries up for him immediately after. My boss informs the kid that he's not allowed in the back of the store anymore and that if his parents don't come and get him now that the police will be called. So the turd pulls out his cell phone and calls his mom, and I head back to doing my job. I, like an idiot, thought it was over. The entitled Karen of a mother shows up and is picture perfect Karen, haircut and attitude honed to perfection. So she immediately gets out of the car and walks over to her filthy little crotch spawn and says, oh sweetheart, who made you cry? My dad, apparently too entertained to leave or something, pipes up before the kid, yeah, I did that. He brings the entitled mother up to speed on what happened, and how her son hit a little girl. She scoffs and goes, that gives you no right to try and parent my child even if he was misbehaving. That's a job for the parent, not for you. My dad, already fully grasping the type of person he was dealing, responded with, yeah, well you weren't around, and I wasn't about to let a little kid hit another for no reason. She got offended by this screaming in response, I'm sorry, I was busy being a good mom at home and making my kid dinner, you a-hole. You have no right to parent my kid. My dad, acting like he just understood, goes, oh I get it, he's just copying what he sees at home. Clearly your husband must smack the snot out of you if you think it was okay for him to be beating up on little girls. Karen did not like that response and said, I'm gonna go get my husband. He's 6 feet 4 inches and is gonna kick your ass. My dad actually laughed at this and said, go ahead and effing bring him, bitch. I will snap him off at the kneecaps and beat him with his legs. It was about then Karen realized she had lost, loaded her spawn, and his bike into her minivan, and drove off. She ended up coming back with her husband later, and my dad actively ate candy and laughed in his face about the skid mark his jeans created. The man never touched my dad, possibly due to the police station that the grocery store's parking lot actively touched. The Karen, her husband, and her kid were all banned from the store, and my manager bought my dad a box of candy. King is back 100 commented. It's a good story. But a box of candy? Chubby White Boy 420 chimed in with, love this story, it totally reminds me of my dad, he had the exact same approach when it comes to hitting women. Greek Jester responded, a man should never hit a girl under any reason. Nobody should hit anyone except in self-defense, regardless of gender. I'm a pudgy, 40 plus 4 10.5 inches woman. And you can be darn sure that if I smacked anyone unprovoked and they smacked back, my late mom would have told me it served me right. Romer861 commented, you're clearly faking this story. Your dad is too badass to be real. For real though, your dad is an absolute mad lad for demolishing that Karen's big ass. Shut Up 565 followed up with, it sounds crazy but I can assure you it's 100% real. Romer861 came back with, of course it is. I was just joking cause the story is too good. After all, there are people like your father who are realistic and can make idiots be put in their place. Juicy Memes 80000 commented, I will snap him off at the kneecaps and beat him with his legs. Mood. Huh? Ayrton Senna's commented, happy flipping cake day. Shut Up 565 followed up with, thank you. MRX01 commented, Op, you have an awesome dad with a great sense of humor. Perfectly shut down a Karen. Love the bit about your husband must beat the snot out of you. And also the bit about breaking Karen's husband's kneecaps and beating him with his legs. Gave me a good laugh and a smile, so thanks for that. Not an invalid name commented, that's the kind of guy people look up to. Basic Mate commented, meanwhile reading the story I was like, your dad should slap the Karen semi-lightly and say, if you were that little girl, what would you think if I slapped you? X Frost Bolts commented, I was hoping he would use a sledgehammer. Here we go 0512 commented, your dad sounds awesome. I hope you are taking notes on how to be a decent person. 29,483 then said, entitled parents get titled stories. Mods Ruads commented, a 12-year-old who throws tantrums is the spawn of a sow who should have been neutered. The turd doesn't fall far from the a-hole, as a Redditor once observed. Warrior Pax 1208 commented, Brat, you're one lucky bastard to have a dad that terrifying. Granted, I have a stepdad that's just as terrifying, at least, to me at times. I honestly think your dad did the right thing by essentially roasting the crap out of this Karen. And her little crotch goblin child. And finally, that one guy 5322 commented, best dad ever. Well, there you have it. A perfectly great question answered by a bunch of fine and honorable citizens. Help support this channel by smashing the like and subscribe buttons. Also hit that silly little bell too to ensure you get the latest videos. Fred is always finding stuff for me to post regularly. So this is Derek signing off. Thanks for watching. Good grief, it sounds like Fred is out of his pen again. I think he found more drama for me to share with you. See you soon.